How would you describe your sexual orientation?
I'd say that I don't know, I guess. Some form of being bisexual, because I'm still attracted to both, whether I want to or not, whether I try as much as I can. It's just, I'm starting to just accept and say, that's just how it is.
Singer David Archuleta is coming out, and the 30-year-old says his story is not just about his sexual orientation, but how it sits with his faith and his church.
We've been down that road before, but that's over now.
Archuleta grew up an American Idol, a teenage star, with many girls and a good number of grown women wishing he were theirs, with hit songs like Crush. He says he had a difficult breakup with a girlfriend recently and realized that he may have been running away from his attraction to his same sex his whole life.
It just got to a point where I felt so guilty, I guess. And I didn't know why. I was so starting to get angry.
Even though you had been upfront with her.
Yeah, and I'm so frustrated that I'll be with her and it's like I notice a guy more than I notice my own girlfriend. And I feel a lot of shame in that. And I feel embarrassed.
The breakup led to this post on Instagram where he shares, "I came out in 2014 as gay to my family, but says he has similar feelings for both genders and that he likely identifies on a spectrum of bisexual." Archuleta says in a world that feels very black and white, his sexuality feels very gray. But his biggest challenge in all of this, and the reason he says he's being so open, is his Christian faith. He still prays before every meal and led us in prayer before this interview.
Our Heavenly Father.
The singer remains to this day a devout member of the Mormon Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
When I started feeling numb and empty, I was questioning everything. I was questioning my faith. I was questioning if God was real, because I couldn't feel anything. And here I'd done everything I can to try and be close to Him. And in these last couple months, I was starting to have to come to this conclusion. And I guess I was grieving to know that is something, I had to accept that it's something I'm not going to be able to change.
Do you feel now that the weight has been lifted off of your shoulders?
Yeah, I think I was a lot more scared before because I've always felt like there was something that I had to keep to myself.
Archuleta says he is sharing this now and publicly because he wants to speak to people who are on the same journey of discovery. And he hopes to reach out to people of faith who he hopes can do better for LGBTQ+ friends and family. He grew up in conservative Utah, the world headquarters of his church.
When I'd hear other people talking and it's like they'd have crushes and all that, I don't know, I guess I didn't really feel any of that a whole lot.
Towards women, you're saying, or girls?
I'm still trying to figure out how attracted I am to people. I think my guilt would get so heavy that I had the same feelings for guys. I was thinking I must be doing something wrong.
Did you pray over this?
I was praying like, God, you can do all things. You are a God of miracles. And I know you allowed the blind to see and you rose the dead to rise again. And I thought, you know, if I do everything I'm supposed to, maybe He could change me as well. And I think just in Christian culture in general, religious culture in general, like you start to believe that just feeling is wrong and is evil and it's corrupt and it's a sin. And so you think I'm a goner.
And at a low point, he thought it would be better if he weren't in this world than to feel like a mistake in God's eyes.
I was just like, well, it's like, maybe it's better that I'm not here anymore than to live in a way that isn't how God would want me to be living.
But it was in the Mormon Church where he says he found relief.
So the first person who you came out to
was my mission president.
An authority figure in your church.
I just felt like he was the person. I knew the kind of man he was, and I think I was always afraid of what a man would think of me, to have feelings that I had, confessing that I could have feelings for other guys, but to know that he wasn't afraid of me. He just gave me a hug, and he didn't condemn me. He didn't make me feel like I was less than. He just let me feel like I was loved.
Me and my friends were all misunderstood.
David Archuleta became a household name during season 7 of the hit show American Idol in 2008. More than 32 million Americans tuned into the finale between the two Davids.
David Cook.
Archuleta would take second place. As a Mormon, he would later serve as a missionary in South America.
And it actually wasn't until I was on my mission that I finally said out loud, I have feelings for guys. And
Did you say it to yourself? Did you say it to someone else?
Yeah, because I never fully admitted to myself that I was going through that. I thought if I just kept it at bay and pushed it away, I thought I was pushing it away, but really I was just pushing it down, is what I've realized.
And you know what happens when you push things down and you...
Yeah, a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, and a lot of confusion. I was just like, why? I'm here and there's nothing else that I'm doing. All I'm doing is teaching people about God, teaching them how to pray, and I still can't get these feelings away. And I'm not doing anything to provoke those feelings. So why do they keep coming?
Archuleta says he still believes in chastity, but says he's not sure if he's saving himself for marriage with a man or woman. And he says he was deeply moved by the coming out story this week of NFL player Carl Nassib.
I just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now.
The first openly out and active player in the league.
I guess I really appreciated it, that he was willing to discuss it. And I feel like he, just like myself, a lot of us, it's like we don't want to talk about it to say, look at me. We just want to help other people in our situation be seen.
It's fine, I'm fine, okay, all right.
He's now focusing on a new album, Therapy Sessions, and has a children's book coming out soon. And he says he's breathing easier by living in truth, trying to love himself for who he is and not what he thinks he needs to be.
I do love the aspect of being proud of being who you are. And that's really, the point of my post was to help people feel that love for themselves and to be okay with themselves.